Hi everybody, it's crazy, it's Monday, and it's time for the UPBGE video of the week. Now before I get started, gotta give a shout out to my trusted, because you guys rock, to my crazy fam. I love you guys. Now, we're up to episode 125, yes, 1 1/4, and last week we left off with the mouse, okay, the mouse part of a Python object, okay, and we left off with this file, which is 5_game_keys, which when we were doing keys, and it's the key detector python.blend. Okay, and if you hit P while in here, let me kick this over. You hit P and then you hit any key, the number one pad key, the R key, the E key, the G key, H, and you can actually do 2 at a time. Look at that. Okay, or you can do 3 at a time, and it'll show up at the bottom. I think. There we go. Okay. You know, these keep popping up as you type through them. Okay, so the more keys it recognizes, the more you're going to see stuff. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so mouse. Similar to the keyboard, this Python object can work as a replacement for the mouse sensor. And what they're talking about, let me scooch this right on up here. Okay, over here in the sensors, you will have a mouse, which with this mouse, you can have it, positive trigger on any one of these, or not positive trigger, okay, which is mouse over, or mouse over any, mouse over, movement, but wheel up, wheel down, right, middle, and left buttons, okay? So you have all those that you can play with on the logic bricks, but what they're talking about is doing it through Python, okay? There are a few differences that make it even more appealing for scripting. In particular, the fact that the mouse coordinates are already normalized. As we explained in the tutorial, this helps you get consistent results regardless of the desktop resolution. Trust me, that can help. When you've got, a mouse that can only go within this little tiny window right here because that's what you programmed it in for, okay? Or that's what it's locked in at, and it doesn't do the whole mouse, you get stuck on walls and cannot get out. You can be stuck. Like, as you see, my mouse disappears off screen because I have it set up for 3 monitors. With just standard button presses on a sensor, it won't recognize that. Okay? But with Python, it'll say, hey, whoa, you just went to a different screen. Oh, you just went to another screen. I'm going to put it over there on that screen. Okay, so everything you do with that actually helps out when you're running a script instead of just using a standard logic brick. Okay, see, the available attributes are events, a dictionary with all the events of the mouse, which is the left click, wheel up, and so on. The same ones you have in your logic bricks. And their status, for example, BGE.logic.KX_input_just activated. Okay? Then you got position, which is a normalized position of the mouse cursor in the screen from 0, 0 to 1, 1. So it's saying that 0, 0, okay, to, and it'll go off screen because you won't see him because that's hiding behind me. But all the way down to the bottom corner, you'll see your mouse there. Okay, same with here. You can actually do it at this corner, but you still can't see it. It would be here for y'all. Okay, so that's just telling you where it is on the screen. Okay, so that way it can tell you whatever the size of the screen is, it will show it at that point. And the reason why mine can go behind my picture is because this mouse, okay, due to programming, says, hey, if you reach this point here, you're going to go behind, but you're still going to be there. Okay, so visible, dehow and /hide. It's actually, I don't know why they put dehow. It should be show/hide. So if yours is corrected, good job. The mouse, show and hide the mouse cursor. Okay, that's visibility. Can also be set in the render panel for the initial state. Okay, so you can also do it in the render panel, and they also have it where you can have it as an actuator. You can show hide it here as well. Okay, so there's things you can do that are the same as logic bricks, And you can also do them as a script, so that way you don't have to use so many logic bricks clogging up your scene, okay? The next is joysticks. Now, this is the one I had a hard time with because of the fact that I didn't know nothing about. And my buddy Dave was the one that told me about it. I'm still lost. Alright, so this is a list of all the joysticks your computer supports. That means the list is mainly populated by non-objects and a few, if any, joystick Python objects. To print the index, name, number of axes, and active buttons of the connected joystick, you can do, and I'm going to switch over here real quick to show you, for I in BGE.logic.joysticks, joystick equals BGE.logic.joysticks, brackets I. Okay? If joystick and joystick.connected, print I, comma, joystick dot name, comma, joystick dot num axis, comma, joystick dot active button. So what it's telling you, it's going to print whatever I is. Okay, it's going to say whatever joysticks you have. Okay, each one is going to be here. It's going to be like, gamepad, flight stick, Nintendo controller. Okay, it's going to say those. And then for each one of those, okay, it's because you're going for each one, the joystick is going to list whatever joystick it is. So it's going to list the joystick name, gamepad, Xbox controller, flight stick, PlayStation controller, Nintendo controller. Okay, and then it's going to say the number of axes it has. Okay, and the joystick dot activate active buttons would show which buttons are actually active, which would be none right now. For a complete list of all the parameters supported by the joystick Python object, visit the official API. This right here's the, if I can get that off there. The official API is right here. Okay, and you can go to it. If you've got the book, all you have to do is click on it. Right now, I am not, able to do it because every time I go to try, it just messes up. So, but you should be able to click on it and get to it if you have a good internet connection. Okay? A sample file can be found on book chapter 7 joystick.blend. So let's kick back over here to joystick to this, and we're going to go to open, and then we're going to kick back out, okay? And it's going to be which one? Chapter 7 joystick.blend. Chapter 7, I'm in chapter 7, joystick.blend right here at the very bottom. We click on it, it will show it. Okay? Okay, so others. There are even more functions available in this module. Set mist, get logic tick rate, and get set gravity, for example. Make sure that you use the online documentation or the documentation included on the book files to see them all. Okay, so in this one, all right, if you have a controller hooked up, I do not. I don't have it hooked up right now. But when you do, if you do hook one up and you hit play, it's going to find it, and it's going to show you which statuses of each one. Okay, so let's see. BGE types. Okay, how far are we along? We're about 8 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and just stop it here because the BGE.types is a pretty good in-depth one I would like to save for next week because you got a lot of gets and ands and applies and stuff like that that need to be addressed for that. So we're going to go ahead and stop on page, let me see, is that top of, yeah, basically the top of page 55, and we'll continue that on next week. Let's switch out of this. There we go. Okay, and we'll end on page 55. Okay, BGE.types next week. And till then, play around with the joystick controller if you've got one. Tinker with it, play with it, see what all it does, and we'll see y'all next week.